Hi, Brooke. Thank you for sending me this present for my wedding. But is what's inside this box supposed to be for someone else?
Huh? Why would you think it's for someone else besides you? That's the perfume I spent hours searching for that I knew matched your style perfectly. Man, it's so interesting to think that even though my brother won the men's beauty contest in college, he's chosen to get married to someone as ugly as you. I just don't get it. So that's why I went out and got you a perfume that is quite expensive. Because if it isn't for you trying on things like that perfume, you'd be ugly forever.
So you're telling me this is to help me become a better looking and smelling woman? You want me to become a wife more fit for someone like Ben then, right?
That's what I'm getting at. So that's why I'd like you to use that perfume every day, okay? I've made sure to spend days researching that perfume so that you'll be at least a little bit more like my brother.
I'm really happy that you went out and got me something like this, but this kind of perfume is something that, well, I'm not sure how to say it.
Well, with how nasty you look, I had to take desperate measures in order to make you at least decent. And having a perfume like that will at least make you smell better than those that don't look at you directly. And it might help your skin a little, who knows?
Huh?
I'm just saying that drastic measures have to be taken in order to fight your ugly side. That kind of perfume is for people that are just getting into using perfume, so it's meant to smell extra strong in order to hide the underlying appearance.
But this is supposed to be a present to congratulate my marriage, right? I'm not trying to recommend how much someone should spend on a gift for me or anything like that, but you really meant to send me a gift that's just a $1 perfume from a little girl's store?
Huh? What's up with that reaction? Are you trying to say you're not happy with what I got you? Unlike you, I'm a very good-looking woman, and I have to spend a ton on makeup and stuff like that. I'm at the point now where every month I'm spending around a couple grand on beauty products.
You're telling me you use things like this every month?
Well, I'm a good-looking woman, so I have to. When you're as good-looking as I am, you have a standard to uphold, which requires lots and lots of attention. And so, with my experience and all that stuff, I went out of my way to find you something that would really help your appearance. That present cost me $1, so please stop trying to talk to me like I wasted my money on you.
I'm sorry about that, Brooke. I didn't realize that something like this took so much time out of your day and everything.
Well, now that you know, your ugly butt can start spraying that crap on yourself to help you at least smell better. I think something like that really will work wonders on you. I put a lot of thought into that gift, so make sure you use it all up while thinking of me.
Hey, Ben, it turns out that the present your sister sent me in the mail wasn't a mistake after all. She told me that it's meant for me to use from now on as to not cause you any embarrassment. And she kept making it very clear that this $1 perfume is perfect for someone with my looks.
You have to be kidding me. Brooke really said things like that to you about that gift?
Well, now that we know about this, what should we do? Half of $1 is only 50 cents. I know that we should both be giving something to her in return for this, but half a dollar isn't much to work with. Maybe a couple pieces of gum or something would be enough?
No. We don't even have to bother giving her anything in return if she's going to be that petty. She doesn't deserve anything in return after that. And I'm sorry that my sister thought that giving you such a rude present was a good idea.
No worries, I'm not upset about it. I know that to her, she sees you as someone she can brag to everyone about and that you're the #1 most important person to her. So I think she's just trying to make sure that your wife will be as beautiful as she wants her to be. And compared to a beauty like her, I'm not really anything special to get people talking about.
What are you talking about? You're so beautiful, Sadie. I get that my sister is a bit of a standout when it comes to her beauty, but her personality is a bit trash. And when you add that in, she comes out to be nothing more than an ugly woman herself. I get that her looks score her 100, but when you take into account what she holds inside, that equals it out to around -1.
You're being a bit harsh about her, aren't you? I understand that her personality is a bit much, but she does seem to know a lot about beauty products. She's told me that she's spending a couple grand on things like that every month for herself. That's insane. She's put a whole lot of effort into keeping herself looking top-notch, and so I can see why she's a bit rough to a plain Jane like me.
Huh? What are you talking about, Sadie? There's no way my sister is spending that kind of money on beauty products every month, right? She just happens to look naturally that pretty, and she doesn't even have a job to afford $2,000 worth of products.
She's not even working right now? Last time I spoke to her in person, she told me she was working for your parents' company, correct?
And right after she said that to you, she was fired from that job. She has a real good complexion, and also my parents thought that they could use her to work for them. But that just doesn't seem to be the case. From what I've been told, all she did at work was go to the women's bathroom and stare in the mirror the whole day. Not only that, but her personality was a huge problem for everyone there. She'd always try to pick fights with other women in the office over their looks, and it led to her being fired in the end.
Really? I never knew that.
I'm sure she's just trying to make herself look good in front of everyone. But she doesn't have any money, Sadie. And that's why she couldn't afford anything more than a cheap bottle of perfume for you.
She told me she was spending so much every month just on beauty products, though.
I'm really sorry that my little sister is such a piece of trash. So from now on, if she does anything else that upsets you, let me know, and I'll handle it. I can get her to bow down to me with a snap of my fingers.
Thank you, Ben. Well, for the time being, I'll use this perfume she's given to me as a way of showing her I'm happy to have it. Besides, a lot of people have been saying online that this brand is actually quite good.
Hey, Sadie, are you really planning on giving a wedding now? I can't even begin to see someone like you getting into a wedding dress and walking on stage for something like that.
Did something strange happen to make you say something like that? I mean, you already knew that I married your brother, so why would it make it wrong for me to have a wedding now for everyone to come see?
And true, normally a couple would give a wedding after getting married, but that's not the case when it comes to ugly women like you. That's a huge problem, if anything. Unlike me, who could give a wedding any day of the week, you are so plain and disgusting that there's just no way it'll go over well for you.
Huh?
You actually think that with a face like that, you can get into a wedding dress and everything will look all right? Dressmakers are only making those dresses for people as beautiful as me to wear.
But I've been wanting to have a wedding ever since I was a little girl in elementary school.
Really?
I plan to go out looking soon for some dresses that will match my looks and then have that dress prepared for my big day. If you have the time to, do you want to come along with me searching for the right dress? I'm sure that with you helping me out, we can find a dress that'll help me look even more attractive.
No way in hell. Something like that could never be found by anyone because those kinds of dresses don't exist. So you need to have that wedding canceled. Canceled. Nobody wants to come to a wedding for some ugly chick who can't even look good in her dress, right? If anything, all you're going to do is make some terrible memories for everyone, including yourself. So stop all of this before it gets out of hand.
But Ben has already told me that he's looking forward to seeing me in the dress I choose to show him.
Jeez, what the hell has gotten into my brother lately that's making him think something as ridiculous as that? All of his past girlfriends were so good looking that they could even compete with me. Yet when he came to our house telling us he was going out with some ugly chick, I freaked out. And now you two are married? And he's even saying he wants to see you in a wedding dress? I bet you've been putting something in his food every day that's making him be this sickeningly in love with you.
I'm not doing anything to him.
Well, whatever. If you both are so badly blinded by the dream of having that wedding, then I'll have to step in to help you all cancel it. I'm glad I already had that first conversation with the reception hall about your wedding.
What do you mean you're going to cancel our wedding? And what did you talk about with the reception hall already?
I asked them to have your guys' wedding canceled. And so I'm happy to tell you that your wedding is now canceled. Nobody should have to be forced to come see some ugly loser in a wedding dress like you tried to do to them.
What? You're just telling a joke now, right? You surely couldn't have called that place without talking to either me or your brother first and canceled our wedding, right?
Oh, I did though. I just got off the phone with them a little bit ago. I told him that you no longer wanted to marry my brother and to have the wedding canceled, please. I made it clear to them that you didn't want to get married because you knew how ugly you'd look in front of everyone, and you didn't want to blind anyone.
That's really messed up, Brooke. Why would you do something like that to your own brother and I?
I did that because I already said you shouldn't be seen in a wedding dress. It would be totally acceptable had the wedding been for my handsome brother and a beautiful woman, but the fact that you look like the underside of a shoe after stepping in dog poop means that the wedding would be a real letdown for everyone there. And I already made sure to tell everyone you invited to the wedding that it's been canceled.
I cannot let you get away with doing something like that. I get that you are a very good-looking young woman and everything, Brooke, and that compared to you, I'm just a plain girl and all. But you have no right using that as your reason to do something behind all our backs that's going to ruin my special day.
I can't believe such an ugly loser is getting so upset over this. I'm laughing my butt off right now. If you have the time to sit here getting all upset with me, then go take a really good look at yourself in the mirror, please. You'll get to see just how little a wedding dress would look good on you. And as far as I can tell, all of those guests you invited are thrilled to hear that your wedding is canceled.
You are so screwed.
Huh?
I have been at my limits for a while with you now, but now you've gotten even Ben all up in arms about this. He was looking forward to this wedding a whole lot more than even I was until he found out what you'd done. The fact that you canceled our wedding like that, all because I wouldn't look good in a wedding dress to you? Well, this spells the end for you, Brooke. Right now, your good-looking brother that you brag so much about is fuming at the ears over what he's learned you've done.
So my brother is with you right now?
Well, we've already gotten married and live together now. You should have already known that we'd start living together after handing in our marriage forms at the courthouse. Well, I'm going to hand the phone over to him now, okay?
Huh?
You freaking idiot. You've really gone and done it to yourself now. This time, you've really done it by going out of your way to cancel our wedding. Something that has nothing to do with you. What the hell did you think you were doing when you called the reception hall acting as Sadie and canceled our special day? You ugly witch! How are you going to fix this for us now, huh?
Wait a minute, Ben. Why are you getting so upset with me over this, Ben? I canceled that wedding for you. You really wanted people to see your stupid and ugly wife in a wedding dress? If you allowed her to do that in front of everyone you know, she would have made you look like a fool and had everyone hating you. So that's why I believe you guys are better off not having a wedding instead.
Who the hell said my wife is ugly besides you? And who the hell said they don't want to see her in a wedding dress? I'll have you know that it doesn't matter the kind of woman that wears the wedding dress. The point of the dress is to make them all look beautiful and like a princess. And it's the dream of any man to see the woman they love in a wedding dress. Now my dream has been ruined by my own little piece of trash sister. Do you have any idea how much effort I put into this gosh damn wedding? Well, it's all because of you that the $60,000, all my savings, is now gone, and I'll never be able to get it back.
You spent $60,000 on that whole wedding?
Did you think it cost me less than that? This was my chance to show the woman that I love just how much I love her and want to spend the rest of my life with her. That's what us men do for women that mean that much to us. I want to let everyone see how happy the two of us are to be married to one another. Because of that, I put $60,000 into that wedding for not just the two of us, but for everyone to enjoy.
This is all a dream, right? You actually wanted to hand over $60,000 for a wedding to someone like her?
Yet now, after all you've done, that money has gone down the drain. We had already approved of everything, so canceling means that 100% of the cost is still paid to them. Since this is all your fault, I'm going to make sure you pay me every cent of that $60,000 back.
All of that? Wait. How the hell am I going to be able to pay you that kind of money? Why should I have to do that?
Because you're the one that just wasted all of my money. So not only will you be paying me that $60,000, but you'll also be paying me a settlement. Not only did you cause all my money and time to be lost, but you've also made it so I have to go apologize to everyone I plan to have at the wedding for wasting their time saving the date. And then, after all that's done with, I'm going to have a call back to the reception hall and set up a brand new wedding there, start this all over again. And you'll be paying for all of that too.
That's impossible, though. I don't have that kind of money. Just that wedding alone cost you $60,000, but now you want me to pay you a settlement? And for your next wedding? There's no way.
You happen to have a very nice face that lots of men would love to have a moment with, right? You brag about it all the time yourself, so you can go out there and find some men that are willing to pay you a pretty penny for your time. It's all been made so easy for you by having such a beautiful face and body. Now go find yourself a nice dress, get out there, become a whore, or an escort for someone.
What is wrong with you, Ben? Why would my own brother be asking me to go out and become a whore?
Shut the hell up, you waste of freaking beauty. And when I say beauty, I only mean your looks, because your personality is rotten garbage. So the only thing a good-looking pile of trash like you can do now is be everyone's little pleasure toy.
Huh?
You happen to be hired into your own family's business, and even they fired you because of how horrible a person you are. And even after your own parents fired you, you still happen to live in the same house with them and haven't found any other work since. The only thing that's left for you to do now is freshen yourself up a bit, go out with some older man and make his night.
But me being unemployed has nothing to do with this.
Shut up. I bet the real reason you treat my wife like crap all the time is because you being unemployed still. She's almost the same age as you, but she happens to have been working for a very long time already and is set for a promotion to manager this month. You failed so badly at your own life that you've grown jealous of her success. But listen, just because you're a failure doesn't mean you have any right ruining other people's lives. And after what's happened today, I'll never be forgiving you.
What is going on here? Why are you this mad at me? All your cute little sister did was mess around a little with her sister-in-law.
I want you to get out there and start making that money for me any way you know how. Before I cut ties to you, I'll have you pay for every little screw-up you made today.
I can't do this anymore. It's all because of you two that I'm completely embarrassed with myself. Why the hell are you doing this to me?
Why are you so upset about this, Brooke? You should be happy that you were able to cancel our wedding. You were able to get away with faking my voice and having my wedding canceled, wasting all your brother's money.
Huh?
But listen, we talked to the reception hall and they're not going to make us pay for the cancellation. And they even said that they will be willing to put the wedding back on just as we planned, so thank goodness for that, right?
What the hell? That's not good at all. Right now my brother is blowing all of this way out of proportion. I was so afraid of what he'd do to me next that I started to call all my family and friends. I asked them all to help me gather the money I needed to pay him off, but they all told me that I needed to be responsible for that.
Oh, calm down. They only said all of that to scare you. Actually, they are all planning on handing some money to us to pay for your mistakes.
I know that, but now none of them are talking to me anymore. And that's all because of you and Ben.
Really? Everyone? Your parents, your family, your friends? Everyone's cut ties to you?
Yes! I called them all asking for money to help pay back my brother after what happened, and I explained to them all why I did what I did. But when they heard my reason for canceling your guys' wedding, they told me they'd give me some money, but in return for never talking to me again. And they said in the future, if I ever do try looking for them, they'd have the police called on me.
My, well, that must be so soul-crushing for you.
Because of all this stress, I've started to break out in a bad rash all over my face, and it's ruining me. When I woke up this morning, I looked in the mirror and my face was just covered in this rash. What the hell have you both done to my natural beauty?
Wait, you're having that bad of an outbreak now?
I have been using such good beauty products for so long, and I'm still able to break out like this? With this bad of a rash on my face, I can't be seen going anywhere. I'm a good-looking woman, but now I'll have to put on a face mask to hide all of this.
It's kind of frightening that you've broken out like that so badly in such a short amount of time. Are you sure all of those things that you've been using on your skin aren't just fakes?
Huh? Why the hell would all the brand products that I bought turn out to be fake? I've been putting thousands of dollars into all this product, so there's no way it could all be fake. I only use the best kinds of beauty products, and they all cost me a lot of money.
But it's been an ongoing theme online recently. Lots of brand items looking just like the real thing, but are in fact fake. Lots of online shops selling what seems like high brand goods like makeup and whatnot, cheap. And most of that stuff ends up being fake, as well as pretty bad for your body.
Huh?
And just like your case, there have been tons of people buying really good products like you, thinking they're the real deal, but ending up with terrible breakouts due to it all being fake. It's really something that's had me worried, but you seem to have done all the hard work for me. Because you tested all of that high-end crap you bought online on yourself, you've only given me cheap things like that perfume you got for $1. And I'll continue to use this cheap product on myself since it seems I'm not fit for such high-end product like you are.
Wait.
This has been all over the news, so I think you're having the same situation happen to you. There have already been people with the same symptoms as you who end up having to go through 2 years of treatments to fix their badly damaged skin. They usually show a before and after picture of the patients, and man, is it amazing what modern healthcare can do to save someone's skin. I can definitely see why you think you'll have to start wearing a mask outside now with a face that badly rashed.
You have got to be lying. I can't afford to pay for 2 years' worth of treatments to my skin. For frick's sake. I should have known this fake product would screw me over one day. This is all due to that badly produced product, and now my skin looks sickening.
Huh? So you really have been using that fake product after all? But didn't you tell me you were spending thousands of dollars a month on that product? You even bragged to me about how beautiful it made your skin and everything. You were looking so beautiful that even I believed you when you said you only used high-quality goods, but really, you've been using cheap, fake garbage all along.
Excuse me? Why are you getting all happy over this?
But wait, didn't you tell me earlier that people with my looks should only be using the cheap stuff? Why have you been using the cheap product as well this whole time? Are you telling me that perhaps I'm the same level of beauty as you now by saying you bought only cheap beauty product? Maybe that's why you've been so happy to brag about the product to me. Because you finally found someone just as ugly as you to share that product with.
Shut the hell up! I really was buying all of it thinking that it was the real deal. I've been using that website's product for so long now, so why is it only damaging my skin now? This is all just a bad coincidence, right? Before all those products must have been the real deal, right? That must mean that even now the product I used has been real. And that it's just the stress causing this breakout.
What? So you've been using this same product for a very long time then, huh? That must mean that low-quality trash is perfect for your skin, and this time you used something that was real and it didn't match your skin.
Excuse me?
Well, it's fine for you to keep using the trash product. I mean, somebody's got to buy it or else it will all go to waste. You must be so happy to know that the cheap stuff works for you. And I think I'll continue to use this cheap perfume you got me since it hasn't bothered me so far. I actually looked into that perfume you got me and its parent brand is a lot higher end. So that's why it's been made so well and is healthy for me to use. You really did a great job looking for this perfume for me, and I think I'll start buying the parent brand since I know my body won't react to it. Thank you, Brooke.
You need to stop it with all of that horn tooting right now. You have no right being this happy over all this. You're the frickin' ugly loser, so you don't get to be happy about something that makes me miserable.
I'm not trying to be happy about something that's made you upset. I just wanted to let you know that you can keep saving money with that fake product. And that I will be able to buy some high brand stuff here really soon. Let's both you and I keep doing our best to take care of our beauty, okay? But before you can join me, make sure to get that rash or whatever treated. You are way too beautiful to keep that rash on your face, so get it treated soon, okay? We wouldn't want you making everyone around you having to look at that disgusting rash on your face. Good luck! After that, both Ben and I were able to give our wedding and it went over very well. But as for Brooke and her terribly rashed skin, it only continued to get worse and worse. She never did end up coming to the wedding because she kept crying about how everyone would laugh at her because of her skin. But everyone at the wedding had a different excuse for her not showing, and that was that she was too afraid to appear in front of all those that yelled at her, and that's why she ran. She tried to explain later to those that still talked to her that her skin really was having a horrible outbreak, but nobody would believe her. However, when she went to go see how much the treatments would cost her, it was way more money than she expected, and she couldn't even get anyone to support her this time. As of right now, she's working overnight at a factory in town trying to save up money for her treatments, and is doing so while wearing a mask to cover up her ugly mug.
I think I'll head over to get you tomorrow at around 10 a.m. or so. Does that work for you?
I'm so anxious about everything right now that I'll be awake bright and early tomorrow, so you bet that time will work for me.
Well, that's not an answer that makes me think that things are okay there.
Well, I'm finally going to get to meet your mom after you asked for my hand in marriage. And asking me not to get nervous about meeting her now is like asking a fish not to swim.
I'm sorry about that. I really wanted to come and meet your parents first to talk about all of this.
And I'm sorry that my parents are always so busy and never seem to have the time to come around us. I'm worried right now whether this gift that I've got to bring to your mom is even enough or not. Do you think I should bring some other stuff as well?
I said you'll be alright. You bought some stuff for my mom that she likes, and getting a ton of things for her would be too much since she lives by herself now. She wouldn't even be able to eat all of those chocolates, right?
I get that, but...
I think you'll be just fine, Mindy. Now, there's something I'd like to ask you. And if you don't want to do it, you can just say no to me, okay?
You have something else to ask of me? What do you need?
Well, actually, before you come over to see my mom again, well, my mom is asking to talk with you over the phone.
What do you mean?
Well, she told me to give her your number, and so... Well, you're gonna be seeing her again tomorrow, so if she really wants to talk with you, there's always tomorrow. But it seems she really does have something she wants to ask you over text or something.
I wonder what she wants to ask me. Well, I guess I don't really care if she has my number or not.
I didn't get to hear everything from her, but I think she wants to talk with you about having you make lunch for us tomorrow, so that might be what this is all about. She might be asking you if you have any preferences on what to cook and things like that.
I guess I'd be the same if I had something to ask about before meeting up. But I'm sure she already knows about the kinds of foods I like and what I can cook, right?
Well, I guess you'll just have to wait and see what this is all about. You okay with talking to her then?
I think I'll be fine. I'm sure she'll need my number anyway, since we'll probably start to talk even more now that she knows that I'm your fiancé. And of course, after we marry, she'll want to stay updated about us.
Well, she does have a lot of time on her hands ever since my dad passed away and left her all this money, as well as some of the money I give her every month, so I just want to tell you right now that if she finds out you do have a lot of time to be on your phone, she'll start texting and calling about everything. You sure you're gonna be alright with that?
Stop trying to make it seem as though she'd never stop talking to me. I'm sure I'd rather be able to talk to her when I need to, rather than never be able to talk to her at all. And I doubt she's going to be as crazy as you think.
Fair enough. And you love to communicate with others, so I guess there was no stopping you from wanting to talk to my mom.
Well, that's just my thing, making sure that I have all my bases set through asking and confirming.
Well, I'll go let her know your number and then the two of you can start chatting. If there are ever times you're too busy to respond to her or she just starts to get a bit annoying, just let me know. I'll handle it. I just want you to know that you don't have to be on the phone with her all the time, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, and one other thing. If she does say anything you don't like, please be sure to let me know about it right away.
Does something I don't like?
I think things will be alright between you two, but, well, that's at least what I want to think. Actually, when it comes to my mom, she really loves judging people based off their education.
Based off their education?
Well, even though he's not around anymore, my dad graduated from Harvard. And as for my mom, she's from an all-female school in the UK where she graduated from while her parents were living over there. So she's always going on about what kinds of degrees people have and about where they've gone to school. I was actually very lucky to have her as a parent because, well, she made sure I was able to go to a really good high school. And then after that, to an amazing university and everything, without even having to test into them.
Is that so?
Really, I did want to go to the same school as my friends, but, well, she ended up having a path already laid out for me, so there was not much else I could do about it.
Well then, am I going to be okay?
Well, I told her that you are a lot like my dad, so I think she won't hold too much against you. Well, that's what I want to believe, but I think she'll refrain from saying anything to you over that pretext. I'm sorry if what I've talked about has caused you any worries.
No worries, I'll be all right. After all, she's your mom and she birthed and raised you, right? So I doubt she'd be the kind of person to only judge me based on my education and would be much more open-minded towards me, just like you've been.
Thank you so much for saying something like that.
And if she does mention anything about my past, well, I'll just explain everything around it to her.
I'm glad you have confidence, Mindy. Now, I'm going to give my mom your number, okay?
Thank you. It's so nice to meet you, Mindy. This is Richie's mom, and you can call me Lorraine. I understand that the both of us will be meeting again for what seems like the first time in such a long time, so I'm sorry for texting you the night before. I am assuming that this is your number, Mindy? Nice to talk to you again, Lorraine. And thank you for allowing me the chance to finally come and meet you for lunch tomorrow after all this time. And thank you for taking your time to contact me the day before. Well, there are some things I'd like to ask you before having you come out to meet me. So I made sure to ask my son over and over again to give me your number. I'm not catching you at a bad time, right? Not at all. I'm happy to be able to talk with you right now. And so, what's this that you'd like to ask me about? Tomorrow, we'll all be getting together to have lunch and talk, correct? I've been thinking of ordering sushi for lunch. There's a very famous sushi restaurant just down the road that I can ask to bring us some great food. But I wanted to ask and make sure you're okay with raw fish. Thank you so much. I love eating sushi. Well, that's wonderful to hear. But I have to ask, weren't you planning on having me cook lunch for all of us tomorrow? Well, I just decided on having sushi instead for lunch so that I didn't stress you out with this visit all too much. And this was only one of my questions for you. Only one of them? What I really have been wanting to ask you, we'll talk about right now. You are aware that both my husband and my son are Harvard alumni, right? That's right, and I'm well aware of that. My husband is no longer with us anymore, but he graduated from one of the best universities in the U.S., and right after he graduated from there, he began to create a large group of companies that he managed, and then later brought me into his life to become his housewife. So you are well aware that when it comes to someone, the one and only thing you can judge everything about them based off of is their education, right? I suppose you can judge someone pretty well based off their education. My son is in the same boat now, graduating from Harvard and landing himself a job that pays him very, very well. He even makes enough to send me an allowance every month. Of course, I'm able to live very easily with the money my husband left for me after passing away, but Richie has been thinking a lot about my future and said that I shouldn't try to use up all that money so quickly. I've heard from Richie that he's sending you money every month. He really is such an amazing son. He sure is. I was really worried about what would happen with everything after my husband passed, but now that Richie is sending me money, I should even be able to live off of just that amount for the rest of my life. You can tell just by how wonderful my son is that me birthing and raising him was without any flaws. Without any flaws? You're talking about Richie, right? I tried a whole lot of things with that boy ever since he was a little guy, and after making him go to a private high school and then off to Harvard, I can say that he is my little masterpiece. I heard from him that you made sure he went to all the schools you wanted him at. My husband is from Harvard after all, right? And I might not have come from Harvard, but my school is international, so I can still brag about it, right? You both have graduated from very amazing schools, correct? That's right! In England, everyone would call the college I went to the College of Princesses. So not only is it well known over there, but it's viewed as a school with quite an image of luxury and fine education. But it's not just my husband and I that graduated from college, but all our parents as well. So I really do have a bias towards schooling, even after high school. But we can just say that's all in my genes, and it'll be in my son's genes as well. In his genes as well? So this is why I want my son to date a woman with a history in education, and I want him to marry a woman that is from some higher education, and I want him to have kids with her that are all as smart as him and his wife are. I see. And so that's why, starting now, I have some very important things to ask you. Can you please tell me what university you graduated from? I understand that this might come as a heartbreaking surprise to you, but I never graduated from any university. What? What does that mean? Are you trying to tell me that you never graduated from anywhere like Harvard or a school like mine? I'm sorry, but I've never been to any sort of high-level university like the ones you've mentioned. But you've at least gone to and graduated from a school overseas, right? No, actually, the last level of education I graduated from was middle school. Middle school? You have to be kidding me right now. Why would a person like that be going out with my son right now? No frickin' way. This all has to be some kind of twisted joke, right? I know for a fact that recently young women like you just love to be sarcastic and make jokes such as this one. No, this is not a joke. You and my son met within his company, and that's where you both started dating, right? That's what both Richie and you have told me in the past. And as we've said, we did meet inside the company. But you'd have to have a pretty decent education to be working in the same company as my son, right? So tell me how a middle school graduate could have ended up there. And I'd love to explain all of that in detail to you right now. Don't tell me you have ties within that company and were brought in through the back door. The back door? Well, there are things like that, right? Companies need to start hiring more women, and so they do it only for their image, right? Either that, or you have some kind of friend running the place and they brought you in without you ever having to take an interview. I bet that friend of yours knew about Richie and you've been wanting to marry him. So your friend allowed you to start working within the company only so that you could get him and then leave as soon as you're both married, right? I cannot believe what I'm hearing. My son, who I've put so much blood and sweat into, is being carried off by some idiot of a wretched woman. Hold on for one moment, Lorraine. Allow me to explain everything to you. Stop talking to me right now. I don't even want your phone number anymore. I want you to forget about ever having the chance to marry my son, okay? I did not raise my son to marry someone who's never graduated from college and thinks that it's fine to work at a high-level company only to get to my son. Could you please stop saying that about me? I understand that I only ever graduated from middle school, but there is a very important reason for all of that. No matter what kind of excuse you give me for that, it doesn't change that you have no education. You are a middle school graduate, and that's all. My son was so good with his studies back in the day, but I guess he was a weak spot for women like you. The girl he was dating before you was the same deal, telling me she had no plans of going to college, and so I told her to get lost and that she'd never have a chance to marry my son. Huh? Never get a chance to? My husband and I both come from elite backgrounds, and we made sure to make lots of powerful friends to help us raise our boy into a man that would be able to do anything. So when we finally said to him that he could start dating, we told him all the women he brings home only get one chance to impress us. Well, can you let me explain what's going on here so that you'll be impressed with me? No, I will not. I don't want to talk with a middle school graduate like you any longer. You'll only start to make me more stupid, so I have to leave before that happens. And know that your marriage to my son is no more, please. Just give me a chance. Think about your son's happiness and let me explain what's going on here. I told you that you weren't going to get married to my son, right? I haven't even bothered getting that sushi I said I'd order for lunch, so get lost. I can't believe that a middle school graduate is even in our house right now. If my husband knew about this, he'd be appalled. I came here to have a word with you. Well, I don't want any of your words. But if you do this to me, you're not only going to be tossing me out, but your own son as well. Well, maybe next time you shouldn't be coming into my house like this after I've told you to stop trying to marry my son. Richie is upset with you as well right now, though. He's only a child still, so he has no idea about the intentions I have. I'm sure as he continues to grow up, he'll understand everything here. Not only was he surprised about how you wouldn't listen to me, but the fact that you didn't listen to him either before throwing that bucket of water all over me. He's furious now. Well, you deserve to be drenched in cold water like that since you never took the time to take life seriously by getting a proper education. Are you really going to try and end all of this without ever listening to either one of us? There is nothing I want more than to have you shut up and leave my sons and my life at once. Do you really think my ears have the patience to listen to you? I am not interested in you anymore. You are nothing more than trash in this society, and such trash is not welcomed here. You're going to regret all of this then. The only one that's going to regret anything is the one that's missed her chance to marry my bright and wealthy son. You'd never be able to last long anyway with a Harvard alumni like my son. Now stop with all this nonsense and leave my son right now. You'd want me to leave him even though he's my employee? Huh? What are you talking about? Your employee? There's no way in hell he's your employee, right? If anything, you should be his employee, and even then I wouldn't believe it. When I say that he's my employee, I mean that as in he's one of the workers I've hired to work for me. And so far he's done everything to make sure that the work I give him is done correctly and on time. And, well, since he's so good at working for me, it's almost like he's working with me, so maybe I should call him my partner more than anything else. You've employed him? What? What do you mean? Are you finally going to listen to what I have to say now? Explain all this crap to me right now. Why the hell is my son your employee and not the other way around? Well, it's just as I've said. The company that Richie is currently employed at is the company that I'm the CEO of. CEO? Stop playing around with me. No way in hell is a middle school graduate smart enough to own their own company. I actually started working a job of my own in elementary school. And recently, it's not that strange to see younger and younger kids making money through things like YouTube and other services, right? You had a job when you were in elementary school? I do think that studying is a very important part of all our lives, but when thinking about things like high school and later college, I figured that growing my own business would be far more beneficial. So after starting my own company in middle school, I focused more on expanding it than working on homework and such. And when I was finally out of middle school, I chose to test out of high school and then worked full-time making sure my company took off. Excuse me? In my case, my family had been running a business of their own already, so being around them helped me better understand the business world. Are you telling me that my son is currently working for a company whose CEO has been working since elementary school? Actually, that company is long gone now. I sold it to someone else when I was only 11 years old. You sold it? Correct. I sold it when I was 11 to someone who said they could get better use from it. I was even able to sell it for a decent amount of money. So I used the money from that company to start a newer and better company for myself in middle school. Hold on for just 1 second, Mindy. What the hell is this? Something about all of this makes it seem as though you are actually capable of running your own company. Well, when you say it like that, I suppose I am saying all of this like I'm capable. And that's because I am, and I have all the proof to show for it. And not just within my current company, but from all the success I've had from it. As of right now, I own a penthouse in one of the taller towers downtown, and it's got 3 bedrooms in it. A penthouse with 3 bedrooms? Tell me how much money you're making with that job. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you all of that since you don't want to talk much with a middle school graduate like me. Just know that I'm able to employ a lot of workers within my company, and in return I gain a lot of money from the work they give me. I'm sorry that you happen to care so much about everyone's education and judge them based off of only that one part of their life. Since I only ever made it to middle school, it must hurt you so much to see me making off better than your own pride and joy, right? Well, it's too bad I can't explain anything more about this since you wouldn't want to listen anyway. No, wait a second. The only reason I was judging you so much based off being a middle school graduate is because I thought you were after my son's money. What should I say about this? I didn't know you had a company of your own, and that's why I said so many things like that. Well, you made it pretty clear to me that you didn't want to listen to what I had to say about my company. Well, that's just because I had the wrong idea of you, just the wrong idea. I was so looking forward to getting to know my fiancé's mother even more, to the point that I was jumping out of my chair when we first started to text the other day. I assumed that since you were the one to raise such a loving and amazing boy, you'd be just as loving as him. Well, I suppose I just had my hopes up a little too much. You didn't even want to give me the chance to talk to you in person about myself, and I've lost the excitement I had the other day. So I believe the two of us will be going now. Such a shame, since I was looking forward to this day.
Hold on for 1 minute. I'll go out and get that sushi for all of us. Do you both think you can stay for a little while longer so we can relax and talk? How does that sound? We should both take some time to sit and talk about ourselves a bit more, since we both seem to have the wrong idea of one another.
Richie's telling me that he wants to go, so I'm going to follow him out, okay? Good day to you, Lorraine.
Hold on. Mindy! When I saw your full name, I was thinking that you might be pretty famous. And, well, after looking into it more, you really are quite an amazing person, right? And when talking about yourself, you really are a beautiful young woman. So your education and such doesn't mean anything to me now, after looking at the wonderful woman you are, both on the inside and outside. And when it comes to men, of course they care more about looks than about your actual education, right?
I don't think you have to talk to me anymore, Lorraine. We are both well aware now that your son told you he was cutting ties to you, right?
No, wait a moment. I just wanted to talk to you today about how amazing of a person you really are.
I'm sorry, but I can see that you're just trying to get to Richie through me. But you won't be able to, because not even I want to talk to you anymore.
Please don't say such heartless things to me. We are going to become in-laws really soon, right? You're going to become my daughter-in-law really soon, so you shouldn't have to say things like that about me, right? So let's both work together to fix things within our family so that we can all go back to being happy and loving with one another. Let's begin fixing things right now.
I'm not going to become your daughter-in-law, though.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
That's all exactly what it means. I'm not going to become your daughter-in-law or anything like that because he'll be marrying into my family and getting our last name. And not only that, but he already told you he's cutting ties to you, right?
Wait a sec. He's getting your last name? That's a lie, right? Tell me that's some kind of bad joke.
Richie told me he doesn't want to share the same name with a family that only cares about people's education and nothing else. And once again, he doesn't want you in his life anymore either. So don't expect him to stick around with you anymore since he's going to be a part of my family now. I'm sure that you can see now that once he has my last name, his connection to you is pretty much gone, right?
This has to all be a lie, right? He's my only child, Mindy. If he changes his last name to be your family's, then my family will be.
This is what he wants to do. He's told me that he's had enough of you and that last time was in fact the last straw.
The last straw?
Did you even notice that for the longest time, ever since he was a kid, he's been upset with the choices you've made for him? You were the one that forced him to leave all his friends to go to some private high school, and then sent him to Harvard to study for something he never cared for. And not just things like that, but with his first girlfriend, you told her off even though she was going to be entering trade school and everything. But you didn't view that as a higher education and forced her to break up with him.
I was just making sure that he ended up with someone who would match his level.
And that ex-girlfriend of his turned out to become a very famous dress designer. She ended up going to a fashion trade school, and after that was taken on by a very famous wedding dress studio, where she's now working as a very well-paid tailor making dresses for all kinds of celebrities. Did you know that?
That's bullcrap, right?
And she's going to be the one making my dress for the day I get married to your son. Right now, she's happily married to a man that's given her a wonderful home to live in, and in return, she had 3 kids with him. And they are all living peacefully together. I get that it's important to have an education and everything like that, but when you have things like a great personality and a smart head on your body, you don't really have to worry about things like elite colleges and snotty things like that. I mean, Lorraine, have you even cared about anything else regarding your son besides his education?
Of course I have. I'm his mom, after all.
But you didn't know a thing about the company he was hired into, correct?
Well, I just assumed that since he graduated from Harvard and was on a path to finding a great job for himself like his father,
I didn't have to worry about what kind of company it is and who runs it. Well, just be aware that the money he's been sending you these past few years is going to stop as well. Huh? He's going to stop sending me my money? Your money? He said he's cutting ties to you, and that's what happens when someone cuts ties to someone else. But that's... what's going to happen to me in my life, then? Well, I'm not sure. But the two of us are going to get married, and shortly after that, we'll no longer really need to think about you anymore. It's not too late for me yet, right? It's okay for me to come over to your place now and come see you two, right? I'm going to make things right again between all of us. Make things right again? How's that supposed to work when things were never right to begin with? We were supposed to start out with everything being cool and just having a conversation amongst each other, but instead, you splashed me with ice-cold water and told me to get lost. And I am so sorry about that. I will make all of that up to you, I promise. I'm glad we were able to meet at least one time in person where we both got to see our true nature. Don't say one time, though. From now on, I want us to meet each other all the time. We told you that we're cutting ties to you, right? Which is unfortunate since we only just really met. But because of that, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. So, goodbye forever, Lorraine. Told Lorraine farewell, and then right after that last message, I blocked her number. And right after that, I deleted her contact information and everything. Richie did the same as me, and blocked both her number and deleted all her information. And ever since we both did that, we haven't had to worry anymore about her trying to get in touch with us again, and that's left us both with a lot of peace of mind. As of right now, Lorraine is living life without the money her son would send her, only being able to use the money her husband left her from now on. And as she's doing so, trying not to spend too much of the remaining money, she's been looking at old photo albums of her son and crying, thinking about the past she had. I guess now that she's pretty much lost the one thing that made the present so nice to her, she's going to have to live in the past forever now, with the younger version of Richie that she bragged about so much. Lindsay? What was all that about just a second ago at the planning meeting? Out of nowhere, you just took my idea as your own and got credit for it.
What could you possibly be talking about?
Stop trying to act like you have no idea what I'm talking about right now. That paperwork that you just handed in at the planning meeting we had? That was all the exact same stuff that I had worked on before. I was planning on leaving that idea alone for a bit longer so that I could come up with some better things before next month's meeting. It's messed up of you to steal my idea like that.
Can you please not say such rude things to me like that? Do you even have evidence of me stealing your idea? I get that I'm newer to this company than you are, but just because I'm doing better than you are here doesn't mean you can try to sabotage me.
Huh?
I'm sure you're just jealous that a newbie like me was able to come up with a better idea than you at the meeting, right? I was praised by all the higher-ups, and that's probably what made you so upset. But you should take a page from their books and start praising me as well for my hard work and great thinking.
I'm not trying to play any games right now, Lindsay. I know that you came up to my desk and took those papers from me, and I have proof of that. I learned about it from someone that witnessed you doing it while she was here late doing overtime.
Well, I just happened to walk by your desk a few times, but I never took anything from you. Walking around like that helps me come up with new ideas is all. And it just so happens that sometimes I come up to your desk while walking around like that. But don't take that as me stealing anything from you, okay?
I have a witness saying you stole things from me and you still won't come clean?
Well, come on now. You were never going to come up with an idea like mine anyway. You've been here longer than I have, and the manager told me that he's never heard of an idea like mine from any of the other workers. So that must mean that an old fart like you couldn't come up with anything to impress.
Huh? What did you say?
Well, it doesn't even matter now because the meeting is over with. And as of right now, the department manager is taking my idea into consideration for the next plan. So can you please stop trying to scare me by making such a big deal over it? If you have the time to be sitting at your desk right now talking to me, then you have time to start working on new documents for my plan.
What? What do you mean by new documents?
Did you not hear a word the manager said to us? He said that starting next month, we will be having a company-wide meeting to discuss this plan and put it into action. And that's why he's asked for us to start making up documents to better lay out said plan. As I recall, you were the one that was asked to work on those new documents, considering you stole the idea from me for said plans. And another thing before I'm done talking to you, next week is going to be that company-wide meeting, and so if you don't get started on those documents soon, you'll never have them ready in time. But I'm really busy right now and don't have time to work on any documents. And this evening, I have some important plans to get to, so I'll be going home soon. Also, that meeting today wore me out, so I'll be taking some PTO out for tomorrow and the day after to recover. So all the work that's supposed to be done by me is going to fall into your hands to be finished in time for that meeting. Huh? Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen, though. I have a lot of work of my own to get back to this week and won't have time to work on your things. And I myself have plans tonight that require me to be home, so I'm not going to be able to stay late. Do you really think it'll be acceptable to slack off like that? You've been in this company longer than me, therefore when a newbie like me is sick and can't get her work done, you have to step in to clean up for me. But if you can't even be relied on to do that here, as well as never give any new ideas at the planning meeting, I think this company will begin to realize you're no use anymore. And by that point, they will think of you as nothing more than an old fart that needs to go. Excuse me? Now I need to be heading home. I look forward to those finished documents on my desk when I'm back in 2 days. I'm sorry, Stanley. I know that you and I are supposed to be having dinner together today, but I have so much work right now and I don't think I'll be able to make it. You can go ahead and start the dinner without me today.
What? Even today you have to stay late for work? I was really looking forward to finally having the whole family together to meet my fiance for dinner.
I'm really so sorry about this. Unfortunately, I was given some last-minute work today that I can't say no to and that needs to be completed here soon.
Last minute work, huh? Don't tell me that it's because of that newbie that you're working with still who's been forcing you to do all her work?
You really seem to know what's going on here.
Well, you are the kind of woman that likes to get all her work done to the best of her abilities. But the fact that someone new is forcing you to do all their work, you've already told me and Mom and Dad about it a lot, so I knew that once again this time would be the same reason.
Well, you're 100% correct. Not only did she end up stealing my idea and giving it at the meeting today, but she's having me do all the document work for it now.
What? She stole an idea of yours? Don't you feel like something like that is crossing the line big time in terms of work ethic? I can kind of see someone being lazy and never getting their work done, leading to you having to do it for them, but what she's done this time is just wrong.
You are right. This time she's really crossed the line. She's really started to act strange in the office, and it's really getting on my nerves. Which is pretty rare considering that I'm usually pretty patient with new employees.
Maybe this new employee isn't like the rest and is just completely brainless. No matter how you think of it, this time you happen to have a useless coworker on your hands. And what really makes this all worse is that you were supposed to be coming out to see my fiance today, but that's all been ruined because of that lazy jerk. It's all due to her that even your private life is starting to be affected, and in a very bad way. I think you need to stop trying to bear that coworker's laziness and bring all this stuff up with your boss.
You have a good point. At this point, I'm not going to be able to handle her crap on my own anymore. However, I'm worried that me bringing this up to my boss might result in them thinking her actions are all because I'm not training her well enough.
Katrina, you were always worried too much about things. There's no way they would get upset at you because of her poor work ethic. You just have to tell your boss that you've had enough and can't deal with the new hire anymore. If anything, it'd be better to tell them sooner rather than later, because it will help the company just as much as it'll help you. It's only a matter of time that coworker does something completely out of line and costs not only you your sanity, but the company its image as well.
That's right. Thank you so much for listening to me rant again, Stanley. You've really made me start feeling better about this. I shouldn't have expected any less from a psychiatry major like you.
Well, how about instead of me charging you for my time this time, you treat me to some steak next time we meet? And as for my fiance, I'm sure I can get her to meet you another time before we get married.
Sure. When things calm down a bit here for me, I'd love to take the both of you out for steak and get to finally meet her. Now I've got to get back to my work before I stay here too long. Make sure to let everyone know today that I've had to stay late at work again, and that's why I won't be making it to dinner tonight.
Why are you here, Katrina? Where the hell did you even come from to get into here?
I'm actually wondering the exact same thing, actually. I want to know why Lindsay is here right now at this wedding, and why are you wearing a wedding dress right now?
I'm the bride, after all, so I have to be here in a wedding dress. In other words, this is my wedding that you're at today.
What? You are the bride at this wedding today?
Now tell me why you, of all people, are here. I don't ever remember inviting you to be at my wedding. And what makes all this even more surprising is that you seem to be very close to my fiancé. Who the hell do you think you are talking to the groom like that?
Who the hell am I?
I would have never thought that someone like you would come into someone else's wedding uninvited. And not just that, but be flirting with the groom while his fiancé is watching? I don't want an old fart like you anywhere near him.
I am not flirting with him right now. Do you think we can both take a moment to calm down a bit? We have to be a bit more level-headed before we continue this conversation.
Well, if you want me to calm down, start by telling me why you're at my wedding today. What made you think it was such a good idea to come to your new coworker's wedding when you never got an invitation? Wait, don't tell me. You came here so that you could try and catch the bouquet in the toss today?
What?
Now that I think about it, you are still a single and lonely middle-aged woman, right? You've never been able to find a man for yourself to marry, and that's why you came here today searching for luck. They always say that the person that catches the bouquet is likely to be the next one to get married, right? And so you thought it would be the perfect chance to finally end your suffering, and that's why you're here.
Nobody with a hint of common sense would come to some stranger's wedding for that reason. And just because I'm single doesn't mean that I'm lonely.
No. You are getting way too old now to still be single, and that's why it sucks so much for you. And when it comes to women, no matter how much they love their jobs and work hard, if they're still single in their 40s, they're pretty much done for. And that's why today will be your last chance of ever getting married, as long as you can get the bouquet. I can't believe that you came all the way to your coworker's wedding today uninvited just to try and save yourself from eternal loneliness. You must really be hurting inside.
I told you already that that's not the case. Can you take a moment to listen to what I'm saying?
Huh? There's no way I'm wrong about what I'm saying. If what I've said isn't the case, then why else would you be here? I mean, why would you be trying to steal my fiancé from me right now? Did you come all the way here with the intention of stealing him from me on our wedding day? Huh? I bet you're jealous seeing your young and cute coworker getting married before you. And that's why you're here, trying to take the groom away before he ties the knot with the bride. You're only here to take him away and nothing else, right? Well, I'm sorry, Katrina. Right now, my fiancé is head over heels in love with me. And he would never take a chance at going out with some old fart like you.
That is also not the reason why I'm here. Can you stop it with all these weird and messed up guesses that you're making?
Then tell me why you're here already. I never asked for an old fart like you to be here today, so you'd better get to explaining yourself. And I don't mean talking around the bush about it either. I want to know right now, or else I'm sending you out of here.
I'm here because I'm your sister-in-law.
What?
I've had enough of this. I'm going home. Then at least we can both be happy because we won't be around each other anymore. So now go right along and have a wonderful wedding with my little brother, please.
Wait a second. What? My sister-in-law? What? You're Stanley's older sister?
That's right. I'm the older sister of your groom. But man, did I never expect that my brother's fiancé would turn out to be you. That's such a terrible outcome that I'm even shocked to the core.
You're lying about this, right? Wait. From everything I've heard from Stanley, he tells me that his sister is a really well-off woman with a great career. Don't tell me that he was talking about you.
And if a few months ago you and I were able to meet at that dinner, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But when you told me that you had important plans after work, you forced me to deal with all your responsibilities while leaving the office. And it's because of that I was never able to go to that dinner to meet you.
That dinner? That was the day that my idea ended up being accepted by our higher-ups.
Yeah, that's the day that you stole my idea from me and gave it at the meeting to take credit for it. And when that meeting was over, you made me do all the paperwork for it, like writing all the new documents up over the new plan. And in the end, the only person to be recognized for my idea was you. I remember all of it, Lindsay.
That was...
And of course, since today is the day of your wedding, we shouldn't be having to talk about work, right? So I'm going to hurry up and go on my way, like you asked. Have yourself a great wedding today, okay?
Katrina, why did you just turn around and leave my wedding without saying anything else to me? We're about to get started with the wedding now. Did something happen to you that may have upset you?
No, at least not something that you did to me. I was just told by your bride to go home, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. She told me that she doesn't want some lonely old fart sitting in on her wedding.
What?
Actually, we only just learned about each other being here a little bit ago. That soon-to-be wife of yours is actually that newbie in the office that I've been telling you about. And you know how I feel about her as my coworker and about the stories of me having to try and train her, right? Well, that's her.
Huh? You're telling me that the girl you're always complaining about is Lindsay?
It's surprising, right? Who would have ever thought that such a coincidence as this could happen to us?
No, wait. This can't be happening, right? But listen, the coworker you're always telling me about and the Lindsay I know are two completely different people. She is the kind of woman that is nice to everyone and will do anything to help those around her. There's no way she could ever be the same selfish person you're always telling me about.
Well, I'm guessing that in front of you, she puts on a great face. But in front of me at the office, she does a great job at being selfish and lazy.
But that's... So you're saying that Lindsay really is the one that stole your idea and shared it at a meeting? And she's also the one that steals plans from you all the time and then forces you to do all her work? And not just those things, but will also leave you to do the remainder of her work when she feels she can leave the office to do her own things? Which also must mean that she's the one that left the office one day out of nowhere to go be with her boyfriend when they went on a long trip to California.
That's her. I'm sorry, but you happen to be getting married to her now.
What? Really? Hold on a sec. Now that I think about it, I haven't ever gone with her to California before.
Uh-oh.
She told me that she didn't want to go there because the sun is too strong and it would burn her beautiful skin. But you're telling me that she left the office to go there with her boyfriend? What boyfriend is she talking about?
Now that I think about it, who was that man that she showed me pictures of when she came back from that trip? This is all from the past, so I don't remember everything. But I do remember this taking place around the same time you were talking about how you both got engaged.
So you're saying that when she had accepted my proposal, she was going out with another man to California? I need to go have a word with her right now. I'm going to stop the wedding right now until I know what's going on here.
Huh? You're going to stop it now?
I'm not going to show everyone some fake love for her when I have no idea what's going on anymore. I'm really sorry. I'll get back in touch with you later.
Why would this be happening to me? The wedding was canceled yesterday. And not just canceled, but it won't ever be happening again because now Stanley said he's leaving me.
Really? So this all ended with him breaking up with you?
It is! He told me before he started to leave the wedding that he had had enough of me, and said that to me with all my family and friends watching. Also, why the hell does he know now about how I cheated on him before? He's told me that he's going to get a settlement from me now.
Oh my. So we were right about your trip to California being with another man.
Why? Why would he be able to find out about all of this on the day of my wedding? I was able to hide all of it from him right up into the wedding. I finally thought that I'd be in the clear with that, yet right when we should have been getting married, he found out about everything.
I wonder why he found out. I wonder if it has anything to do with how you acted on your wedding day.
Please, Katrina, can you please go find a way to get your brother to come back to me? I really do love your brother and want to become his wife. All that trip to California was me having a little fun for a change. I may have been cheating at the time, but it wasn't anything serious, and I really only love Stanley.
You really think an excuse like that is going to slide with us? And another thing, I don't want to become family to you, so I'm not going to help you get him back. If anything, I'm asking you to stay away from my brother for the rest of your life.
Huh?
I am not going to let my cute little brother marry some used-up whore like you. You may have done a good job hiding your true personality from him, but he knows the truth about you now. So give up on Stanley, please.
Stop screwing around. Your cute little coworker is in trouble right now and really needs you to help make her life better again. And you're not going to help me? You're supposed to be looking out for me as my trainer.
What? You're my cute little coworker now?
If you're not going to help me get back my man, then so be it. If you plan on not helping me, then I'm going to complain about you to the manager. I'll tell him that you've stopped helping me now, and they'll never let you come to another meeting again. Actually, I'm going to make sure that you're fired from your job for this. That's fine with you, though, right?
You really think that you can threaten me with something like that? If anything, the odds are in my favor on all this. So you going to our higher-ups about this will only further prove the case that you're useless.
What? What are you talking about?
I've already spoken to the higher-ups about how you push all your work onto me when you run out of the office or just don't want to work. And you going to them about me not helping you get your fiancé back won't help your case at all back there. They'll only become even more concerned about you because you'll start bringing up things that are unrelated to work and wonder why you want me punished for them. It might even end up getting you fired then.
But how does any of that make me useless? They already know that I'm amazing based off of the idea I gave at that planning meeting. Unlike some old fart like you, I can actually do my job and make progress. So you really think that they're going to call me useless and think about firing me?
You may think that you came out on top for using my idea at the meeting, but unfortunately for you, everyone knows that you stole that stuff from me. And I don't mean our other coworkers, but also all the higher-ups that were at the meeting. They were going to ask you why you'd been giving out ideas I'd already planned, but at the time it was late and they didn't want to make a fuss out of it. That's why they went ahead with the idea and ended the meeting.
What?
Well, anyway, the company-wide meeting has taken place now, and the plan has gone into action, and on that plan is my name. I even got a comment from the district manager saying I did a great job and would be rewarded for it.
What did you say?
And not only was I finally recognized for my idea that you stole, but the manager brought this all up with HR to look further into. And so now everyone knows about what you've done, and there's no need for me to have proof to show. There was also a lot of notes found on your desk describing how much you hate me and what other things you could do to make me work harder. So with all of that, I think you are pretty close to being fired from your job.
What notes are you talking about? Why would I ever write things like that about you?
You're always writing about how much you hate me, and not just writing either, but saying things like that about me on here, by text. And that text remains on my phone and can be screenshotted to show others later on. Things like you calling me an old fart, or saying that I'm useless. We also all know about how you push all your work onto me now, and there's evidence of that all around as well. And don't forget that one instance where you spilled the coffee on my desk on purpose, ruining all my documents.
Hold on now.
Having to hear all of this from an old fart like me must really hurt, right? But I'm sorry, Lindsay. You saying that the way you've been treating me is okay because I'm so old is just not going to fly. That doesn't fly anywhere in the corporate world, so good luck trying to fool anyone by saying that I'm to blame. Because compared to an old employee, who isn't even that old, actually, you are far worse off for never even bothering to do your work.
Please, wait a second. Are you actually being serious about me being close to getting fired?
Yeah, I'm being very serious. Just like my brother said, it was all worth it bringing this up to my boss earlier.
What? Huh?
Didn't you say that if my brother doesn't get back with you, you'd complain about me? Well, go ahead and try it, because he's not getting back with you. So it'll all be a waste for you, and you'll most definitely lose your job by doing that. Now go right ahead and try to hurt me. In the end, the talks about getting married ended up fading away between my brother and Lindsay. And along with that, Lindsay was left having to pay for the wedding to be canceled. And not just that though, but also the settlement for her cheating on Stanley also came right after my brother said he was never talking to her again. In total, she would be having to pay around $80,000 for everything she did. But before even trying to pay for anything, Lindsay ran to her parents crying for them to help her. But they ended up telling her to get out of their faces for what she'd done to their reputation. And after being told to never come around her parents again, she was also put on temporary leave from her job while HR investigated her. And that actually meant all of us here could get our work done in peace. And this is the perfect timing as well, since we are getting into the middle of putting said plan into action within the company. As for my brother, he told me he's so happy he learned about his fiancée before signing all the marriage papers. And since he thanked me for telling him all about her at his wedding, he's going to use a part of the money he received in the settlement to take me out for steak.